What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. You don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 6. So obviously, spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead. Now, this is the Connie, Virgil horror movie episode that we've been waiting for on The Walking Dead. Not about Connie and Virgil, but a horror movie episode that we finally get. It's pretty cool, very interesting. We'll break it down for you. Spoiler warning again. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Support the PT channel any way that you can. We truly appreciate it, guys. Now, the episode starts with Connie and Virgil, and they're running for their lives in some overgrown grass, and they come towards a house. Connie wants to keep running, but Virgil goes into the house. They get into the door. They close the door. A walker gets in. They kill the walker, and they lock the door, and they're safe. But Virgil and Connie, they think they're alone, but they're not alone. Virgil checks the house, and he doesn't find anything. Connie hasn't really slept for a while since they've been in the house, but maybe hours or maybe even days. We don't really know about that. But Virgil checks the house, doesn't really find anything. And Virgil is kind of the good guy here. He's not the Virgil that we knew from before with Michonne. Michonne has really changed him. But Connie wants to check the house. So she walks around the house as Virgil sits in a green chair, and he waits in this room. But we see some creepy paintings. The eyes are scratched out. And it's kind of weird, and it's kind of what it would be. You don't find a new modern home. You find a home from the 1800s with these creepy black and white paintings with the eyes scraped out. But Connie's walking down the hallways, and it's pretty cool that we see Connie's perspective, and we also see that she's really traumatized from the cave and the walkers, and this house is gross. I mean, mushrooms are growing by the bathtub inside the home, by the way, and we do hear nothing from time to time because that is Connie's perspective because she's deaf. She looks in the mirror and she kind of has some sarcastic line, "Well, don't you look delightful?" And she does, actually. But ultimately, she looks in the medicine cabinet at some expired medicine, and you see the gray arrow for old razor blades. And something isn't right with this. So she's looking at something there that draws her attention, and she takes a closer look as she leans forward, and we see the big open slit for the old razor blades. And there's not much to it. It's old and rusty and dirty, and, new homes don't have this, but this is back in the day. And then, boom, jump scare. Resident Evil 2 eye, jaundice eye, liver failure person freaks Connie out. So she runs back into the room where Virgil is and tries to talk to him, but, Virgil has a tough time because he doesn't know sign language. And it's one of those things where Connie's trying to communicate and he doesn't understand, and she's like, how am I going to do this? So she starts writing down on a book, and then she breaks the pencil, so she grabs Virgil's knife and then starts carving it into the painting, "Not Alone." And she does a really great job of that, by the way. I have to say that this "Not Alone" is pretty amazing. But ultimately, we know that they are in trouble and they're not alone. Then we cut to Daryl and the Reapers and Frost, who's getting interrogated. His fingernails are being ripped out, and they're torturing him. They're trying to get information about Maggie. We still don't know why Pope wants Maggie so bad, but Frost is not giving up any information as Carver tortures him. They bring in Daryl, and Daryl is the big gun here, and it's all a test. Pope is testing Daryl, Leah, really everybody. As Pope watches on, he's trying to get information out of Frost. Frost gets punched and just is not doing so well. So Frost is definitely not a traitor. We knew that from before, but he's definitely not a traitor. Again, spoiler warning, he dies at the end and becomes a walker as Pope kills him when our group is out. Chokeholds are illegal. Pope looks at Carver and says, "You three go to the house that Frost told them about, a yellow house." But we know that Maggie's not in a yellow house. It's a green house. It's actually the house next door to them. But Pope sends out a group of 6 people to go find Maggie. And they definitely do not find them, which is good. Frost, I guess, gives us information at the end that we don't know. We'll talk about more at the end of the video. But Kelly gets on horseback and goes to find Connie on her own. But Rosita, Magna, and Carol go help her, and they find her later on. The dead horse is here. I don't know if this is Virgil's horse. I thought his horse was white. But this was the camp that Virgil and Connie were at. And I was thinking about it. Virgil doesn't know about Alexandria. He went to Oceanside, but I guess nobody was there to tell him where to go. But Kelly does find some evidence that Connie is alive. She finds Virgil's backpack. That's the orange backpack that he had at the end of season 10. We were kind of wondering what happened to his stuff. Connie comes across a bag that was Connie's. Connie's stuff is there, luckily, even though she should have the slingshot or a knife or some weapons. She didn't really have anything as she was fighting off the feral people that we'll find out later. They find this book. trapped with dead, walk with them for days, no light, no food, little water. So Connie is definitely out there. Kelly is finding clues to it, which is great. And here's more of clues towards Michonne, which is great. Michonne told me, and I'm guessing Virgil said that to Connie, where is she? Don't know. She left to look for someone, was hoping to see her. It feels like we are being watched. It's late. We'll pack up at first light. So that happens really fast in the episode. You might want to pause it, or I don't know, just look at it carefully or come back to this video if you see it. But we know that Kelly found a clue to Connie, which is good. Kelly goes towards some water. She's walking with the horse. To me, this is a never-ending story moment. If you haven't seen that movie, shame on you. No, it might be an 80s movie that you haven't seen yet. But she falls into the mud, and Carol, Rosita, and Magna find her. They help her. They talk. I don't know why Jerry or Aaron or Scott are not with them. It's the whole women empowerment thing, I guess, which I'm okay with. But I would think like Jerry, Scott, Aaron, somebody else would be there with them. But it's these four ladies that eventually find Connie and Virgil at the end of the episode. They talk about the notepad that they find, or notebook, or whatever you want to call this. And I really hope something big comes out of this. Michonne's name is clearly written there on the pad. Hopefully Michonne is actually mentioned later on this season. Hopefully we see her, but at least we get a mention or some aspect of the Michonne story still. Then we see the Reapers walking down the street with a satellite tower in the distance, not a water tower, I believe. But our group of 6 Reapers, well, one of them is Daryl, is walking down the street, and Frost told them about a yellow house. That's the house right there in the center. To the left is the greenhouse. That's the house that Maggie and Negan, Father Gabriel, and Elijah are in. So Frost told them the wrong house. Daryl, makes some noise or distraction with the wire, and Maggie sees that, so she knows to hide, and Daryl helps them. Our group goes into the yellow house first, breaks in there, and then they go to the greenhouse. But Maggie knows that Daryl shook the cable wire, and so Maggie knew to hide in the basement, the trapdoor underneath the house. So Maggie, Negan, Elijah, and Father Gabriel are safe. They all escape. We don't lose anybody in this episode besides Frost. That's the trap door underneath the rug that Daryl finds, and he tries to hide it. Maggie looks up. Negan and everybody look up. They're in danger, but Daryl kind of covers for them. He's kind of standing on it right here. Leah, Carver, Daryl, there's the animosity here. And I don't know if they're going for a Shane, Lori, Rick type of thing here with Daryl, Carver, and Leah. Not sure if they're going that way or what, but Carver does not trust Daryl, and he probably shouldn't. But we want to see, I want to see Daryl versus Carver in a big epic battle fight, with Daryl winning, of course. Maggie looks up and listens as Daryl talks about the Reapers, the Meridian. They have 20 people. So Daryl's kind of giving them information without just telling Maggie, like, hey Maggie, they have 20 people there. But again, they're hiding underneath the house in the basement. And man, there was a lot of speculation about Father Gabriel, that he gets caught, he meets Pope, he does this. He's probably going to meet the priest from the Reapers next episode. But Leah, does she trust Daryl? I don't know, but Daryl and Leah care for each other. And Carver says, you can't trust this guy. He's not here for us. And Daryl says, you're right. I'm not here for you. I'm not here for any of you except you, meaning Leah. So Leah and Daryl kind of have their moment. Like, Daryl cares about Leah, and I'm sure Leah cares about Daryl. And I hope the fan base of The Walking Dead are okay with Daryl and Leah, because that's what we got, right? We don't need Daryl and Carol and Daryl and Connie. Maybe we have that down the road, but right now it's Daryl and Leah. Now Carver finds the trap door, hidden passage under here, and he checks it, and everyone's gone. So why didn't they get out sooner? Paid for drama, but Carver looks down and there's nothing there. Daryl's like, see, I told you. So Daryl didn't get caught. No one got caught. But if you look at it closely, Daryl's willing to fight if they found Maggie. Maggie, Elijah, Father Gabriel, and Negan all escape and run into the woods. We'll see them next episode, and everybody is safe, which is good. I don't want to see any of our main cast, get killed off anytime soon. At least till maybe the final third or the last part of season 11. But we're going to see Virgil and Connie back again. It kind of jumps around a little bit, so I just kind of put it all together. But Virgil and Connie go back to the bathroom, and Virgil's like keeping his eye in there where we saw that yellow eye. I wouldn't be doing that. What if he got stabbed in the eye? But Connie is being chased after Virgil, and Connie gets separated by a wall that is closed behind them. But Connie's being chased by feral people. There's no mention of CRM experiments. It's people that have lost their way and de-evolved over the zombie apocalypse. They're animalistic. They're cannibalistic. They're eating people. They were lured here. I don't know how or why or what it went down, but ultimately Virgil says that they were basically lured to this house. And these people set up traps for them and made noises, and they were watching them. But Connie and Virgil get separated. Connie eventually makes it to the walkway that she can look through and see the room. We see this feral person come behind Virgil, and Virgil's in danger. And it's got that horror vibe, and they do a really good job. In this episode, it's kind of a shame that it was the last season. This episode was directed by Greg Nicotero from KMBFX. Great producer, great director, great person. He knows his horror genre, that's for sure. But Connie's watching on and banging on the wall, and that makes Virgil go towards the wall, and he's about to stab the wall. He fights off the feral person and stabs the person in the side, and the feral person just goes away. To me, it's like a crazy Tarzan, but Virgil is about to stab the wall, and he does, and that's the horror part where the knife comes through. So it's Virgil's knife, not a Reaper knife, but he breaks the wall, or Connie and Virgil break the wall, and they're reunited, and all is good. They have nice moments, and Virgil is a good guy. He's not going to harm Connie, and he wants to protect Connie, and they want to protect each other. Then we see that our group of four, Rosita, Carol, Magna, and Kelly, go towards the walkway or the grass that is towards the house. So they are near the house, and they eventually get there and kind of save the day. But before that happens, Virgil and Connie have a nice moment. And Connie's like, hey, if I get in trouble or if I get in danger, go without me. Go on without me. He's trying to repent for all the bad stuff he did. Well, it turns out Virgil gets stabbed multiple times by this feral woman. And I don't know how many feral people live here and where they were all this time, because this house is not that big, or maybe it is. But again, Virgil gets stabbed a bunch of times, like 3 or 4 times. Connie comes in and hits the feral woman with the wooden piece of the table. And Virgil is saved by Connie, and Connie drags Virgil away. And these feral people can just kind of moonwalk or crawl away, and they do. And there's so many of them at one point where they're coming after Connie and Virgil, and it's got that horror vibe. But they eventually make it to the front door. There's the dead walker that they kill at the beginning, and the feral people are coming around them, down the steps, down the hallway. And Virgil is by the front door while Connie does the walker guts trick and puts all the walker blood and guts all over. She gets pretty gross. Then she decides to open up the front door as the feral people are all around her, which is very smart. Connie's very smart, and you have to say that tactic is pretty great with all the walker guts. So again, all these feral people are coming towards them. Virgil does not look so good. Connie's covered in the walker guts. She opens the front door. The walkers come in, and it's so feral people versus the walkers, and the walkers start to win. Connie is safe as she has the walker guts on him, and she's blocking Virgil, so they don't even come around Connie at all. Again, it's the feral people versus the walkers. Who will win? Dun dun dun. But Connie and Virgil decide to run out the house while the walkers are biting the feral people. It's pretty awesome. And Virgil is wounded from previously being stabbed by the feral woman. Connie puts down Virgil. They kind of fall on the front yard, which should be higher grass than this, right? But the feral people come out the front door. Connie is going to take them on, but then Kelly comes with the slingshot, takes them out. Connie sees Kelly, and she can't believe who she's seeing, and it's a nice moment. Teared up a little bit here as you see Rosita, Carol, Magna, and Kelly save the day, kill the walkers, and Kelly is crying as she sees Connie, and I'm just glad they're both safe. They hug like Daryl and Carol, and they're both safe, and everything is good, and it's a nice moment. It's like, yes, finally, Connie is reunited with Kelly. Season 11, episode 6 is when they're reunited, and they haven't seen each other since season 10, episode 9, which is crazy. And then we end at the Meridian. We see the priest or the man of God talking to Pope, and the man of God right there talking with Pope has to be the person that Father Gabriel sees next episode. If you see the trailer for next week's episode, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm guessing Father Gabriel kills that guy that's with Pope. Pope looks at our group that came back with nothing. Carver apologizes, says they didn't find anything. Leah's like, I thought you'd be mad. Pope has this weird, creepy laugh, and he's like, no, I'm not mad, because when you guys left, I got information out of our person, Frost, he's talking about. We don't know what he got. Daryl looks on, like, what did he give him? What do we know? What happened here? Don't know if Pope actually got any information, but Pope is playing psychological warfare with Leah and Daryl. And Carver is probably, Pope's right-hand man, even though Leah was kind of his favorite. So we'll have to see. We see Frost, that's a walker now. Pope ended up killing him. He's tied to the tree like Simon was at the sanctuary. You know, what goes around comes around. All the Reapers but Daryl and Leah go in towards the Meridian, and Pope talks with Carver. He whispers something to Carver that we don't make out. We're not made to make it out. But Leah and Daryl watch Carver and Pope talk. Pope smiles and laughs. Carver looks back. He smiles and laughs too. So what was actually said, we don't know. But Pope supposedly got information out of Frost. Did he give up Daryl? Anything like that? We're not sure. But Leah and Daryl look on. Are they in danger? What's going to happen? But this is how the episode ends. Tune in next week when we hopefully find out what Pope said to Carver. Can't wait to find out. And that's how the episode ends. So overall, season 11, episode 6, we see Connie, Virgil, Daryl, the Reapers, Frost. Frost is the only one that gets killed, well, besides the feral people and the walkers. So there's no connection with CRM, but there is a connection with Michonne. Virgil should hopefully be alive. Hopefully we'll get some information going forward with that. Can't wait to see how it goes down. Another great episode. Season 11 is very good so far in my opinion. And I'm really glad that we get to see Connie back reunited with Kelly and some people from our group. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Support the BT channel any way that you can. Stay safe. And as always, tell them Daryl.